Marcus Thompson stood at the end of Maple Street, his worn canvas backpack heavy on his shoulders, not from the weight of what was inside, but from everything it represented. 3 tours, 3 deployments, and now, finally, home for good. The late afternoon sun painted the neighborhood in shades of amber and gold, the kind of light that made everything look softer somehow. Gentler. The white picket fences lining the street gleamed in that golden hour glow, and for a moment, Marcus just stood there, breathing it all in. The smell of fresh-cut grass, someone's barbecue in the distance, the sound of wind chimes from a nearby porch. Normal. It was all so beautifully, painfully normal. He adjusted the backpack and started walking, his boots finding their rhythm on the familiar sidewalk. Each step brought him closer to the small blue house at the corner, the house he'd left 3 years ago, the house where his daughter Emma was waiting. Emma. She'd be 12 now, 12. He'd missed her 10th birthday, her 11th. He'd missed school plays and lost teeth and first crushes and all those small, precious moments that you can't get back. His ex-wife Sarah had remarried 2 years ago, moved to Denver with her new husband. Emma had stayed with Sarah's mother for a while, then came back to stay in the house, waiting for her dad to come home. The guilt sat in his chest like a stone. As he turned onto his street, he noticed her immediately. A woman in a light blue sundress, standing in the garden next door. She was tending to a bed of roses, her blonde hair catching the sunlight. Marcus had never seen her before. New neighbor, he figured. The Harrisons must have finally sold their place. She looked up as he approached, and her eyes, there was something in them. Not pity, not curiosity, just recognition maybe. Like she understood something without him having to say a word. "Welcome home," she said simply, brushing the dirt from her hands. Marcus paused at his gate. "Thanks," he managed. His voice felt rusty from disuse. Or maybe from emotion. "I'm Jennifer," she said, taking a few steps closer to the fence line. "Jennifer Hayes. I moved in about 8 months ago. Your daughter, Emma? She's a wonderful girl. She helped me plant these roses last spring." Something in Marcus's chest cracked open a little. Emma, his Emma, helping a neighbor with flowers. That's good to hear," he said. "I'm Marcus." Jennifer nodded, and there was a warmth in her smile that felt genuine. Not forced, not the kind of smile people give you when they don't know what else to do. "She talks about you all the time," Jennifer said softly. "She's been counting down the days." Marcus felt his throat tighten. He nodded, not trusting himself to speak. "Well," Jennifer said, sensing his need for space, "I'll let you get settled." "But Marcus?" She paused, holding his gaze. "However long it takes, that's how long it takes. No rush, no pressure, just one day at a time." He stared at her, those simple words settling over him like a warm blanket on a cold night. "However long it takes." "Thank you," he whispered. She smiled again and went back to her roses, and Marcus walked up the path to his front door. The days that followed were harder than combat in some ways. Emma was there, yes, but there was a distance between them, a careful politeness. She'd grown up in his absence, become this almost teenager he didn't quite know how to talk to. She had her own routines, her own world, and he was trying to find where he fit in it. The nightmares came most nights. He'd wake up at 3 in the morning, heart pounding, sheets soaked with sweat. He'd sit on the back porch in the darkness, trying to remember where he was, trying to remember he was safe. On the 4th night, he found a glass of sweet tea waiting on the porch table, a note beside it, in feminine handwriting, chamomile and honey. "Sometimes the simple things help. Jay." He looked over at Jennifer's house. Her kitchen light was on. She waved once, then went back to whatever she was doing. No fanfare, no intrusion, just kindness. The next morning, Emma was quieter than usual at breakfast. She pushed her cereal around the bowl, not eating. "What's on your mind, sweetheart?" Marcus asked gently. She looked up at him, her brown eyes so much like his own. "Are you going to leave again?" The question cut deeper than any blade. "No, baby. I'm home for good. I promise. That's what you said before." She wasn't wrong. He had said that before. Before the last deployment. Before the one before that. "I know," he said quietly. "I know I did, and I'm sorry, Emma. I'm so sorry for all the times I wasn't here, but I'm here now, and I'm not going anywhere. She nodded slowly, but he could see the doubt in her eyes. Trust, he was learning, wasn't something you could demand. It had to be rebuilt, one day at a time, just like Jennifer had said. He started small, walking Emma to the bus stop every morning, making her favorite dinners even if he burned the first few attempts, helping with homework, going to her soccer games and actually being present, not just physically there but mentally there too. Jennifer was often in her garden when he came back from the bus stop. They'd talk sometimes, brief conversations. She told him about her life. She'd been a teacher for 30 years before retiring. Her husband had passed away 5 years ago, cancer. She'd moved here to be closer to her sister, to start fresh somewhere with fewer memories. The grief doesn't go away, she told him one morning, deadheading her roses. But it changes shape. It becomes something you can carry instead of something that carries you. Marcus thought about that a lot, about the things he was carrying, the memories, the regret, the weight of missed years. How do you know what to say? He asked her one day. You always seem to know exactly what someone needs to hear. Jennifer smiled. Years in a classroom, I suppose. You learn to listen to what people aren't saying. And Marcus, you're trying. That's what matters. Emma sees that. He wanted to believe her. One Saturday morning, about 6 weeks after he'd come home, Marcus was in the garage trying to fix Emma's bicycle. The chain had come off, and he was covered in grease, cursing softly under his breath when he heard footsteps. Need help? Emma asked, standing in the doorway. He looked up, surprised. I thought you were at soccer practice. Coach canceled. Field's too wet. She came closer, looking at the bike. You're doing it wrong. The chain goes on the other way. Oh. He laughed softly. Well then, show me how. They worked together, her small hands more nimble than his, and for the first time since he'd been back, it felt easy, natural, like they were finding their rhythm. Dad? She said, wiping her hands on a rag. Yeah, sweetheart. Miss Hayes said you have nightmares sometimes. She can hear you through the window. His face went hot with shame. I'm sorry. I'll try to be quieter. That's not what I mean. Emma looked at him with those wise beyond her years eyes. She said that sometimes soldiers come home, and their bodies are here, but their minds are still somewhere else, and that it takes time for everything to catch up, however long it takes. She's right, Marcus said quietly. Well, Emma said, she also said that having people who care about you helps, so, I care about you, Dad, and I'm not going anywhere either. He pulled her into a hug, this daughter of his who'd grown so much, and felt some of that weight he'd been carrying start to lift. The seasons changed. Summer faded into fall. Emma's trust grew slowly, steadily. They developed their own traditions. Saturday morning pancakes, evening walks around the neighborhood, reading together before bed just like they used to when she was small. Jennifer remained a constant, quiet presence next door. She brought over casseroles when she made extra. She watched Emma when Marcus had therapy appointments at the VA. She never asked for anything in return. One evening in October, Marcus found himself in her garden, helping her prepare the beds for winter. The sun was setting, painting the sky in shades of purple and pink. You've done a lot for us, he said, spreading mulch around the base of the roses. For me and Emma. I don't know how to thank you. Jennifer paused in her work. Do you know what I see when I look at you, Marcus? He shook his head. I see a man who's trying his best, who shows up every day even when it's hard, even when the nightmares make you want to hide, even when the guilt feels too heavy to carry. She smiled. That's not something to apologize for. That's something to be proud of. I've missed so much of her life, but you're here for the rest of it, and that's what she'll remember. Marcus felt something shift inside him, some final piece of the weight he'd been carrying, letting go. Jennifer, he said quietly, that first day, when I came home, you said something to me about taking however long it takes. I remember. How did you know? How did you know that was exactly what I needed to hear? She was quiet for a moment, her hands still in the soil. Because it's what I needed to hear, too. When my husband died, when I thought I'd never feel whole again, my sister said those same words to me, and it gave me permission to heal at my own pace, to not rush, to not judge myself for the hard days. She looked at him. We all need that permission sometimes, to be human, to struggle, to take our time finding our way back. The words settled over him like grace. "Thank you," he said, "for everything." She smiled. "That's what neighbors do." That night, Marcus slept through without nightmares for the first time since coming home, and when he woke up in the morning, he found Emma in the kitchen making pancakes. "I figured it was my turn," she said, grinning as she flipped one expertly. He watched her, this beautiful, resilient daughter of his, and felt something he hadn't felt in years. Hope. Real, genuine hope for the future. Through the kitchen window, he could see Jennifer in her garden, tending to her flowers even as the season turned cold. She looked up and waved, and he waved back. However long it takes, he thought. And for the first time, he believed it. Some healings happen quickly, others take time. The important thing is that they happen, that you keep showing up, that you let people in, that you let one day at a time be enough. Marcus smiled, accepted the slightly burnt pancake Emma handed him, and sat down at the table with his daughter. He was home, finally, truly home. And it had all started with one simple sentence from a neighbor who understood that sometimes the greatest gift you can give someone is permission to heal at their own pace, however long it takes.